What's going on, everybody? This is Living in Arizona Now, and today we are going to take a look at the fun things to do in Phoenix, Arizona for those of you who have families. We're going to go around and show you some of the top things to do. And first up, we're going to take a look at the Musical Instrument Museum in North Phoenix. Now, this is one of the most underappreciated museums in all of Phoenix and possibly in the whole country. This world-class museum shows you so many different instruments from across the world. Different countries are represented here, and I would be hard-pressed to say that they miss any instruments and any country in this entire exhibit. It's 2 floors, lots to see and do, and also they have a part where you can actually play some of the instruments hands-on and see what they sound like and feel like to actually create the noise. Now, having been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland and several other museums, I would say this one is in a league of its own. I mean, this museum here really has it going on, but you can see based on what you're looking at just how diverse and in-depth they go here. Alright guys, next up we're going to head out to West Phoenix to the Wildlife World Zoo. This collection of wildlife and animals is abundant. I mean, the Phoenix Zoo is nice in the sense that there's places to walk around and it has great infrastructure, whereas the Wildlife World Zoo, when it comes to animals and just with the animal diversity and the experience you get with the animals. I mean, you'll go to a big cat exhibit and the cat might be sleeping or hiding, whereas at the Wildlife World Zoo, you get to experience the animals way more frequently than you would at most zoos. So this is a great place to see the animals up close. So at this particular property, it is quite large, so do be prepared to do some walking. They do have a safari tram that will take you around, but definitely this place right here, in comparison to the Phoenix Zoo in terms of experiencing the animals, amazing. All right, next up, we'll go over to the Phoenix Art Museum in downtown Phoenix. The Phoenix Art Museum is a great place to take young, aspiring artists. They have different art from across Western American, Latin American, Asian art, European art, modern, contemporary, fashion, design, photography. So much different art pieces can be found here. There is multiple levels to the Phoenix Art Museum, but also one of the best times to go is when they're having a special exhibit. So do be paying attention to when they're having special exhibitions so that you can go there and get more out of your experience. Now, when it comes to hanging out, having fun, you might want to go to a place like Main Event. Now, there's Dave & Buster's, there's Fat Cats, Castles and Coasters, but I really like Main Event because it allows you to get out there and do some of the activities inside the jungle gyms and whatnot, but also play the games. Lots of games in here, and they have bowling. Adults can get adult beverages while here, so I think the Main Event out in Gilbert, or any of the Main Events, are pretty fun and cool. Right next door is Topgolf also, which we will be talking about later on in this guide. So a cool place to go have some fun. All right, as we previously talked about the Wildlife World Zoo, now we have the Phoenix Zoo, which, like I said, has better infrastructure and a more unique landscape, to say the least, being that it's built right in there to the Papago Mountains. This is really a cool place to go if you like to get out there and see animals right in the heart of Phoenix. It's not going to have as many animals, or they're not going to be as active as you would get at the Wildlife World Zoo with the animals, but it's definitely more centrally located, and like I said, the topography and the infrastructure is a bit better. All right, and as you know, hiking in Phoenix is really popular, whether it be Camelback Mountain or Pinnacle Peak, so many different trails, McDowell Mountains. In this case, we're just highlighting the Pinnacle Peak because it's, in my opinion, fairly easy. Anyone can do it. It's not as arduous as the Camelback Mountain. But please, when you do hiking in Phoenix or anywhere, especially in the hotter part of the year or anytime, bring lots of water. Also, when it's over 100 degrees, please reconsider the hike. We all know what can happen when we don't pay attention to those things. The heat is no joke. But as you can see, look at those views. Just really a very scenic hike up here on Pinnacle Peak. All right, next up, let's talk about getting out on the water. How about Lake Pleasant? Now, there are many lakes around Phoenix. There's Bartlett Lake, there's Lake Pleasant, Horseshoe Lake, there's also the Salt River, Saguaro Lake, Canyon Lake, so many different lakes, but I really like Lake Pleasant. I think it sits right there in that little mountain range really nicely. There's lots of coves. The water is pretty much, in my opinion, perfect. There's also the marina where you can rent watercraft. So I like Lake Pleasant, and if you're looking for a lake when you're out here to cool off or just hang out, definitely take a look at this one. Now, as we mentioned previously, the Papago Mountain area is quite interesting. People like to come out here, especially during the non-hot months, but they got the hole in the rock. It's a really easy hike. It's probably one of the easiest hikes you'll ever do. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to get up there, and then maybe 4 minutes to walk down, depending on how quick you move. But the hole in the rock is interesting, and it's got amazing views of downtown Phoenix. All right, now let's talk about Topgolf. So Topgolf is popular in Phoenix and across the country because, you know, they have different games that you can play when you hit the golf balls. So cool games incorporated. You don't have to go through the golf course. You can sit there, drink beer, eat food. The whole family can really enjoy it. Of course, they're across the country, but this here is Topgolf in Gilbert. They also have Topgolf in Scottsdale. So this is a cool place to go just to kind of get a little physical exercise and have fun with the whole friends and family crew. Now let's talk about city hikes. So the Riparian in Gilbert is one of several Riparians across Phoenix Metro, but this one here stands out because it's really a place you can hike around and feel like you're in the desert while still being right in the heart of the city. They also have lakes for fishing. They have an observatory, so people like to go out here to the Riparian. As you can see, it's really kind of a nice experience for hiking, biking, walking, traveling around, and just kind of having a conversation, maybe even go to get inspiration and think. But the kids like this place because there's a lot of different activities going on around that are more natural based. All right, next up, we'll head out to Scottsdale again to Arizona Boardwalk, also the OdySea Aquarium. People like to come here to see the aquarium. This is a great place to bring kids, even though we're in the middle of the desert. They do have marine mammals in this aquarium here, and we all know kids really like to see the animals. They used to have dolphins, but dolphins definitely couldn't exist in the desert, so we no longer have those out here. But the aquarium in and of itself is still pretty nice, and the Arizona Boardwalk is a fun experience. They also have the butterfly habitat for those of you who are into walking around in a tropical biosphere kind of climate. And as I mentioned, right next door to the OdySea Aquarium in the Arizona Boardwalk is the Butterfly Wonderland. You can see right here. And as you would imagine, Phoenix being a city that has 4 major sports teams, the Phoenix Suns, the Arizona Cardinals, the Arizona Coyotes, and the Arizona Diamondbacks, you can get in a pro sports game or even a college game here in Phoenix. And it's good fun for the whole family.